G'day, I'm Stephen Atcheler from ShoreAgents, and this is Virtual Real Estate Rockstars. And today I'd like to introduce you to our first rockstar, Scott Banks from Scott Banks Real Estate. How are you, Scott?
Yeah, fantastic, Stephen. Great to be here.
Excellent. Well, thanks for coming on this segment. So Virtual Real Estate Rockstars, people that have gone virtual post-COVID, got all their systems in line and yeah, come out the other side and smashing it out of the park now, even more than ever. So yeah, just give us a bit of history about your real estate journey firstly.
Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, look, obviously a fairly traditional real estate journey, starting back with the traditional real estate shop front and photos in the window back in the 80s, and then sort of going through many different reincarnations over those years. So yeah, come from traditional background, but I'm sort of more excited about real estate than I've ever been, given the opportunities that we have today with technology and staff that can support us online. It's very exciting times. Very exciting.
Mm-hmm. It's actually amazing when you say the 80s, going back that far. And then now
exactly.
I look at what you've done.
The 80s, the good old days.
There wouldn't even be too many 25-year-old agents these days that have the technical skills and the IT stuff that you're doing, which we'll get to more in this segment at the end. So how did you find ShoreAgents?
Well, I fiddled around with, having some offshore staff for a long time. I have to admit, probably a number of years, actually. I thought about it. I spoke to people I knew in the industry. There seems to be a little bit of a knowledge of offshoring in Melbourne, but not a huge amount. So it's just one of those things that have been in the back of my mind. But like all real estate agents, we're just too busy. We're just too busy doing what we do on a daily basis, and really don't have the mental power, capacity or time spare to figure it all out and work it all out. So when COVID hit, I moved to a home office where I am now back in March last year, so March 2020. So it's almost 12 months operating from home, and obviously making the shift from an office environment where there's always stuff going on around you to be able to get to home and just have a bit of peace and quiet. And we had some lockdowns here in Melbourne, so there were some quieter times. And it was during probably the tail end of one of those times you left a voicemail message for me, which pricked my interest. It was a detailed voicemail message. It went on for a bit, which is great because I know you like to chat. But it just got my interest, and then I got in touch, and it sort of all went from there. And it's been awesome. It's been amazing. Yeah.
So five years, so you're a pretty quick decision maker, I see.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't muck around. I just get straight onto it. I sometimes see that's a bit of my weakness, a bit slow to get going, clearly, but once I get going, it's boots and all. It's just take it on.
Yeah, exactly.
Get as much done as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Make up for lost time.
Once you get, you're a rocket now with the way that you've started and building out the system. So with that 5 years, there was obviously time was an issue. So you kind of knew that you had to spend a bit of time on it, but you just didn't get the time to make the time. Or what were some of the other barriers?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, Stephen. You're so busy doing what you're doing. You're set up in your office environment, and you sort of hear about this, and you think it might be good, but you just don't take the time. You just don't take the time out to give the time to it that it really deserves. Because if I knew what I knew now, I would have done it years ago. It's just an amazing process, and with these online systems, even these systems that we've developed together, over the last few months. I mean, if I went back to a traditional real estate model, I would still use the systems, even if an assistant was sitting right next door to me, because the power of these systems is unbelievable just in relation to office. I've never seen anything like it that's so precise and just so good at actually managing the business, the back end of the business.
Yeah, well, you got me excited about it, running with ClickUp. So let's take a step back though. So you hired Kimmy through us, who's your first virtual assistant that you've ever had. What was the experience sort of with the interview process, and how did you find it all? And for anyone else out there thinking about going this direction, what tips would you have for them?
Well, I think, one of the things I have to say, Stephen, I've only dealt with one company, offshoring company, that's yourself. But it is, you delivered on all your promises. So you made some promises to me that you would do certain things in a certain time. Once I said, yes, let's go ahead after that 5-year gestation period. You said you'd have someone from an interview in a couple of weeks, or you'd have, give me 3 options in a couple of weeks, and really you delivered on all your promises. You gave, we had 3, virtual or online interviews. I chose Kimmy, and then, she'd gone through a training process with you. So it was really a fantastic experience. Highly recommended. Amazing.
Yeah, cool. So some of the things in the training and when I was offshoring back, 8 years ago and started, I didn't know about a lot of these tools and things, and I wish someone kind of told me, because like you, it just helps so much bring everything together. So part of the training, we teach some of these things, the Trellos and ClickUp now, and automation through Zapier. So Kimmy had a little bit of knowledge coming in, which kind of helps. And then once we made the suggestion to you and showed you how you guys really brought it all together. So can you tell the people about, so I actually introduced ClickUp to you, but I didn't know how good it was. I just kept seeing it saying one app to replace them all, and I thought, well, that's a load of crap. That'll never happen. I'll still be using Trello for this, Slack for this, Zoom for this, Loom for this. And then, I sent it over to you and you jumped on board. And tell me about your experience with that.
Well, I think one of the things with real estate is, that we're all, aware of, or we're all in the same boat, is there are so many different systems that we use, but none of them talk to each other. You've got system for this and a system for that, and, you end up with, half a dozen or a dozen different software systems inside your office, and really they're all operating independently. And when I jumped on board with this offshoring with Kimmy, and we started looking at Trello, we started looking at Zapier, we got onto Slack, and there are a whole lot of things that, some of them I'd toyed with before, but, we ended up with a whole lot of, say half a dozen systems we're using to manage the business, but it was a little bit too complicated, we had to set up automations and do all this, which we did. And then I guess one of the things that I like to do is obviously always look at things in detail and try and find a better way to do things. And then you flicked me the link on the ClickUp, and I, when I first looked at it, I thought, wow, it's going to take a lot of brain power to sort of analyze this and work it out. And at first, I got to say, I sort of balked and thought, well, maybe what we're doing is not too bad. But then I got sort of looking at it, and Kimmy and I sort of started looking at it, and we started doing a bit more research, watching some videos, and then, it's such a sophisticated system. I mean, recently the company raised $100 million to evolve their software. So it's a very, in-depth software system. And that's probably part of the challenge to first-time users, is you look at it and it has so much capability, but you might only need to use 2 or 3% of it. So Kimmy and I spoke about it and said, look, we just want to make it simple. It's got to be simple. It can't be too complicated, because we're going to use it every day. So we want something really simple. So we slowly started to move all our information onto ClickUp, and the more we did it, the more excited we got, and then slowly we transitioned all our work over onto ClickUp, and now we started shutting down the other systems. And I spoke to Gina, our property manager, about ClickUp, around about when we first started doing it, and she, like me, was just too busy running her day-to-day business, where she didn't have the mind power as well to even think about it. She just said, look, I can't deal with that at the moment. So I said, look, Kimmy and I will build the system for you, and we'll have it ready for you, in a month or so to move online and, transfer over. And she said, fine. And then probably about 2 or 3 weeks before that deadline we'd set, she had a few moments, and I was actually showing her what we did on ClickUp and how it was working for us. And almost in that moment, she just said, I need to do it. I need to do it right now. I'm not waiting another 2 or 3 weeks. Let's transition ourselves over onto it. And they've also moved their whole property management business over onto ClickUp, and just absolutely love it.
Yeah, excellent. So we will show some of the systems. We might show a little bit of a preview at the end of this video if you want to do a quick little video just so the guys can see what we're talking about. So yeah, to summarize these things, so post-COVID, you've gone virtual, you've got a VA now, and you've found these virtual systems. Like, what has it done for you, Scott Banks, in your personal life? What has it done for you, for the business, and where do you see the business now in the next year or two?
Sure. So just backtracking quickly, just answering that question about the virtual assistant. I had Kimmy for probably a couple of months, and then Gina, our property manager, decided to put on Trish as well, so she could see the benefits and how it was helping me. So Gina now has a full-time VA as well. So look, moving forward, what I really see is that the future is really bright. I mean, ClickUp, one of ClickUp's catch phrases that, their sales lines is, "Will save you a day a week." And like you sort of look at those things, you think it's just marketing guff, but having been involved with it for some time now, it absolutely does. So the power that I have in relation to getting things done, tracking information, following leads up is better than it's ever been. So I'm sitting in a situation where really the sky's the limit as to how much business you want to write, how much you want to take on, because we've got the systems and the processes in place that can support anything from say one support staff to 1,000 support staff, because once it's set up, it's easily duplicatable. You can just duplicate it and just basically run as much business or write as much business as you choose.
Yeah, cool. And we've talked a little bit about that real estate greatness online, which is kind of a combination of these three things. You've got VA, you've got a system, and the productivity model to take you to the next level. So that's something we'll be releasing shortly. So yes, stay tuned for that. Scott, you got to get back. You've spent 3 months sitting there in your chair building out this system, and now you've got less listings than you probably need. So look, you've got to go and
get back to business. Absolutely, but it's been very worthwhile. Yeah, it's been very worthwhile time spent that, putting the foundation in over that sort of Christmas, New Year period. It's been time I've spent out of the business, really, just getting it set up, but extremely worthwhile, and very excited about our project together moving forward, real estate greatness, which I think, as you've said, encompasses those three areas.
Yep, cool. And for anyone, just lastly, before we sign off, anyone that's thinking about getting a VA or thinking about sort of some of these online systems, like, what would you say to them?
I would say get in touch with me, get in touch with you. We're happy to have a chat, happy to talk you through it, show you, give you a bit of a demo as to what we're doing. And honestly, I really believe once the market understands that real estate market, real estate salespeople, property managers understand what's out there, what we have available at our fingertips, that they'll be jumping on board. It really is very, very exciting. The most exciting thing I've seen for real estate support in my whole career.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited too. So thank you, Scott Banks, for hopping on Virtual Real Estate Rockstars, and we'll be back with you again soon.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Stephen. So I just wanted to quickly give a bit of a demo, as Stephen said, about what we're doing with this fantastic ClickUp software. So there's a request here. We've just set this up, but this is a request coming for evaluation. So what I can do when I receive a request like that is I can allocate a task for Kimmy to send the seller a questionnaire about the property. So I just sort of set this up as it's from me to Kimmy as a to-do. I ask her, I allocate it to her, and I can set a date that I want it done today. And then I can just say, please send, create a task for Kimmy, and then she'll get a message to do that for me. So she'll send out a form to the vendor asking for some more details from the vendor. And then we'll switch over to her screen now so you can see what she does and how it works at her end.
All right, so I received a notification here on my ClickUp. So I'll just click the task assigned to me by Scott. So please send vendor form. I'll just go to our folder and then list seller details. I have the form here, so I'll just share the link or copy the link, and I'll be emailing the vendor. Okay. Okay, so I already got a notification that we have a new submission. This is our new or potential seller. So these are the informations about the prospect property. So with this information, I'll be able to create. So I have a checklist automatically automated when there is a new submission. So I'll create a CMA on CarLogic. So I'll just have to check that once done and send the CMA to Scott over.
So I just wanted to show you what the seller would get, what a potential seller would get, or a potential landlord. So the form that Kimmy sent back to the potential seller is, thanks for your interest in, selling your property, and we've sent a form through. This is for the seller to fill out. So the seller would fill this out with the address of their property. And then the vendor can actually also drop some files here, so like some photos of the property. So they can put some photos in this as well. So it gives us a good idea as to what's going on. So that's the form. They've just filled out a little simple form. We submit the form, and then that goes through into Kimmy. And then Kimmy's able to prepare a CMA for me, email me the CMA, and then I can take that with me when I go and do the listing appointment. So it's a great, absolutely, really, really good system.